And now, coming to you live from high atop the Denham Spring Towers, we are pleased to bring you a live broadcast of The Ray Anderson Show. So crank up those speakers and throw some extra coffee in your cup. And to get in on today's show, we will be taking your phone calls, texts, emails, and tweets. The show is just about to start with your host, Ray Anderson.
Okay, so we're going to do this. I got to look and see that this red light is there. And I never looked.
Is it on now?
No, it's been on.
It's good
But
now?
I just didn't look. We're here today at the Yellow Brick House, 535 Florida Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana. And we're live on the air right now, and we mean live this time. This is the third time we're starting over, but maybe fourth. He's got a good wife. She keeps texting and saying, and see, now YouTube is telling me that you're live. So that's
Okay,
good.
Good.
So I'm going to ask her one more time, like this isn't rehearsed. So, John, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where you from? Where you went to school? How long you been here? Where you were born? You know, stuff like that.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Ray. Let me say, first of all, thank you for putting me on the podcast. And I want to say thank you to Yellow Brick House. If you anywhere close to Denham Springs and you want some fantastic food, make your way over to Yellow Brick House. These guys really do a great job. Chad has brought his culinary expertise from New Orleans and brings some of the finest food at a very reasonable price. You won't regret it. Tell him John Wascom told you to come, and he might even throw you in one of them green fried tomatoes. It's
Oh
pretty
man,
good.
those are delicious.
Those are the best.
And he used to cook for me at home. But
Oh, yeah.
now he lives over here for the last, I guess, 4 years. And if I want his cooking, I got to come here.
Oh yeah, Chad knows how to cook. He does a great job. Yeah, I was started campaigning for office. I woke up one morning about 28 years old and said, "Hey, let's run for office." And so I did, and it got elected in 1995. Served four-year terms on the city council of Denham Springs, and ran for mayor, and then I got elected and served 3 years on the Livingston Parish Council. I'm sorry, 2 terms, and then I got elected. This is my third term. So when you add it all up, it's close to 30 years, and so I feel like I've been doing this a long time. So yeah, and I
So
think
when you ran for mayor, when was that?
I ran for mayor back at the end of my 16th year serving on the city council, so that would have been 2014, 15, yeah, 2015, I believe.
I'm just curious. I don't know the mayor. I don't know nothing
Yeah,
about the mayor.
and the mayor I run against is the current mayor now, Mr. Gerard Landry, and Gerard and I have got to be pretty good friends, I think, because right after that race, which he won, I ran for parish council and got elected, and then of course we work really good together because I mean the parish I try to fight for the roads in Denham Springs, and we work together pretty good of just trying to bring some tax dollars back into this city of Denham Springs to repair roads and improve things. So I think we have a good relationship. I think Gerard's done a great job over the past 12 years. And
Well, I would say that my son Chad is helping with the tax revenue. He's got, I think he's bought 5 pieces of property since he's been here. He's got 2 businesses going, and they're trying to open up a third one. So, you know.
oh, well, that's good. Hey, I don't know if you have any more questions. I just wanted to take a minute and tell you some of the things I feel like some accomplishments that we've done in the parish.
Take my time on, take your time on my time.
All right. Well, good. Since we've been here in office this year, we started this term with a new administration. We've started a trash abatement department with litter pickup and across the parish, and we actually had a trash dump day that we went out and advertised it very good to allow people in this parish to bring trash to help clean up the parish. For that free dump day, we collected over 180,000 tons of trash 319 people volunteered, and we collected. And since then, over 5,000 trash bags, totaling 158,000 pounds of trash.
Now, is Tony Soprano involved in that?
Tony Soprano?
He had the trash company.
Oh, no, I don't think he was involved. I think Waste Management helped us out a lot on that one, and some of the local, our trash supply pickup suppliers had helped us out on that. We were able to really secure land for additional facilities for our animal shelter, and we made some improvements with fences and air conditions and stuff like that. So I think the new administration is really reaching out to improve on animal shelter, and it makes some improvements there. They've hired more employees, so that should be another good thing. We've collected $20 million in revenue, getting out and beating the bushes for drainage for Amite River and canals, $15 million grant for different waterways, and for another $250 million for drainage improvements. Since last year, we was able to dredge where the Blind River runs into Lake Marpaw, because when the water coming down Blind River, it just can't really get into Marpaw, so they dredged out Blind River, Dutch Bayou, and Amite River where they hit Marpaw to really get that water out of the parish. So I mean, and those type things cannot be done. There's not enough. You cannot tax the people in the parish enough to do those projects. You have to get out and beat the bushes and go to the state and try to secure funds. You have to go to federal and work with your federal delegation to try to get those funds, and then you have to have someone looking for grants constantly, and then when you get one, you got to nurse it all along until the money gets brought in and contracts get signed, and then there's so many hoops of environmental and Corps of Engineer permitting and stuff that has to be done. So it's a lot of work, and I think we have, and those things take years of experience to learn and get the right people in place to make those things happen. I think Livingston Parish is doing a good job. Which leads me to one more thing I want to talk about. In 2011, I believe when Mike Grimmer was president, they had started talking about having an airport in Livingston Parish. And so everybody was like, well, yeah, we'd love to have an airport, but there's no way we could pay for an airport in Livingston Parish. So I think back in the time, they found $150,000 from the state, which allowed them to fund a master design or master plan look for the airport. And so with that, they went and done an FAA design or study, and they found, and at the end of that study, they found there was only like 2, maybe 3 spots in the entire parish of Livingston where you could even put an airport. Otherwise, it wouldn't even meet any of their requirements. So one of the spots that was the best was located off of I-12 right there at Satsuma, but that property was owned by a Weyerhaeuser, and of course worth $4 million, so nobody's going to go buy that and build an airport. But there was a gentleman in Livingston Parish that who retired from the military, and his passion was for airports and airplanes, and so he actually had a jet fighter mounted right there on I-12 right now, and he actually went and bought that land from Weyerhaeuser, and as years went on, well, you had asked me about cats, and because I had mentioned that some of the work that our animal shelter is doing with adding more land and facilities to our animal control facilities and improving the facilities with air conditioned fencing and new land and adding more employees. And they started a community cat program. Now, I'm not real adverse on what that community cat program is, but I do know from working with the Denham Springs Animal Shelter and the mayor and on the city council, feral cats is a problem that in the city and as in the parish. So I think they've been able to try to work on improving that feral cats with a cat department. So I don't know what your story is, but I'd love to hear it.
Well, I'm not going to.
I think, Denham Springs really had one of the leading animal shelters in the parish, the city of Denham Springs. And now that I think we have new administration, I think our parish is working hard to improve animal control in this parish. You know, I live smack dab in the middle of the city of Denham Springs, and I actually had a dozen chickens, and as of about a week ago, a fox got in and took every one of them but one. And then that don't count the time I caught an alligator in my backyard in the city limits of Denham Springs. So, you know, we might be inside the city and as suburban or, you know, as much city as it is, there's still a lot of rural inside this parish. And so to catch an alligator, and I can't tell you the fox, the raccoons, the possums, and deer, stuff that's inside the city limits, you know. So
I don't want to get caught in your backyard if you got an alligator.
I did catch one. You know, you asked me how I got where I'm at and some of the things that's important to me as a council member. You know, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Ray, I do believe that some of the best things that government can do is get out of the way of people and try to stay as least involved in people's lives as they can, and especially people like the gentleman who owns Yellow Brick House. The least amount of restrictions we can put, and then sure, you want to have good government with good regulations that protect people's safety and health, and I get that. But sometimes laws get passed that really don't apply to every situation, and that's where you hope you get a good legislation where people can say, you know, that don't apply to this. And so, like for instance, in the parish, just recently we have a law that says, you know, we're trying to slow down some of the development of big major subdivisions. So a law was passed, I don't remember when it was passed, but probably before I got there, that said you can't put a mobile home or a separate address on the same lot. You have to subdivide it, unless it's a family member, you know, and which is a good law. But the problem is people would go to the parish and say, well, my nephew that I've been raising since he was a child wants to come put a trailer beside my house to take care of me now that I'm 85 years old, and I want to let him park a trailer beside my house.
And then he moves out and they rent it.
Well, you know, that was brought up, but if he wants to put a trailer right there beside his house, but the law says you have to be blood related, and I was like, well, you know, that's not what the intent of that law was. The intent of the law was for a family member, even though may not be blood related, they're still family, and so give them a waiver and let that, you know, waive that law for that regulation. And some people are just nervous about giving waivers like that, and I think it's important. So I think it's important as legislator you look at individual cases and you make a good, honest, fair, compassionate decision. So, you know, one law doesn't fit every circumstance, and so that's why we've got to be extremely careful when laws are created that you don't overreach, because an overreaching government is one of the worst things and stifle business and growth. And I know as an entrepreneur myself, trying to start local businesses, some of the burdens that local businesses have to put up with from government probably puts 40% of businesses that go out of business is because of those things. So I'd like to see government work with local entrepreneurs who want to create good, legitimate businesses, because our sales tax revenue in this parish generates 70% of our income, where only 30% or less than that is actually property tax. So, I mean, if you want to, don't overburden the homeowners and the property owners with regulations when businesses are the ones that's generating the revenue income, and let's don't restrict them and let them continue to work hard to increase our sales tax in Livingston Parish.
Well, you caught me off guard. I'm trying to change the camera here. Does the council have anything to do with liquor license?
We do. I mean, the state really has liquor license you know, I mean, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearm, ATC, I believe, in the state, or ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control in the state, is the one that's in charge of that. But now we do require liquor license and permits inside the parish, just as every municipality does too. So does that answer that question?
That answers that question. And people can't see me, but you can still hear my voice. We're going to take another pause. We've got to get this Wi-Fi connection fixed. But this has been a great show so far. We're only going to have to do it in about 5 pieces. This is part 3. We're going to continue with part 4 when we get off. We'll be right back. Okay, so this is part 4, and we're going to edit out that part.
Sure.
Just splice it all together. So, and tell your wife, I'm not nosy, but I just happen to reach over there, that yeah, we're going to give y'all some lunch to take home. Whatever she wants, tell her to call it in. Or text you. We're back. Everything a little discombobulated. So we are working on this daily for the last 7 weeks. And I think that this has been one of the best shows, video-wise, that we've done yet. But we're tweaking everything. So we were talking about, I forgot, planes, cats,
Good government.
the airport, the government. I'm trying to think of the last thing we were talking about, and I said we'll come right back to that. Do you
Some
remember?
waivers or just
alcohol.
alcohol.
That's what it was. Liquor license.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to talk my son into getting a liquor license here. I guess you call it a soft liquor license. I just want him to have like Bloody Marys, mimosas, and maybe a little champagne on Sundays, you know, for the brunch.
Sure.
And we can take that little, see that thing there, it's on wheels. It's like a little ball.
Right.
And I can put it outside, a little umbrella, and somebody come along, hey, a little $7 Bloody Mary, a little $7 mimosa. I don't know, $5. I don't even got a clue how much this stuff costs anymore. I haven't had a drink in a long time, but that's another story. So he would go, got to go to the parish, or we got to go to
No, right. First of all, is Chad your son?
Well, he's my stepson, but
Chad, okay.
he's been around since
I didn't know that.
I was at the hospital when he was born.
Oh,
He's been
okay.
around.
Well, again, he's family, you see, and that's
I say
what.
son, some people say, well, no, he's not, well, okay.
You know what? Family is more than just blood. I agree with that. Yeah, he would need to go to the being this is located inside the city limits. He would just need to reach out to the city hall in Denham Springs, the mayor's office, and they would set him up with whatever permits he would need for a liquor license. So
Well, that's
to do
what
it
we
here.
have to do. You know, I'm sitting here thinking what I should have done, because when I'm going to splice them together, I'm going to need to know which one is part 1, which one is part 2. I should have just gone, you know, and I'd have known that was 1.
1, 2,
and
3, and 4.
But anyway,
You'll figure that one all out.
yeah, something down the road.
Well, I would like to say before we close, if you're watching this podcast and you're looking for some really good food, there's a lady in the audience that just got through eating. What did you think about the food? Was it delicious?
Yes.
Was it good? Was it great food?
Great food.
What did you have here today?
Fried catfish.
Fried catfish
Both have the fried catfish. This is a chocolate brown.
and a chocolate brownie. That looks pretty good. So if you're watching the podcast and you're feeling that little pinch, and you want to really impress the lady in your life, run her down to the Yellow Brick House and tell Chad John Wascom sent you, and you might even scoop up on one of them chocolate brownies. So
Well, that's what my wife told me. She said, bring me 2 of those desserts home today. She wanted the ribs, but that was yesterday. And I didn't come yesterday. so
well, yep.
I didn't even know it was on the menu today. Like I say, I walked in, things happened, and as you know, with the production, we had a little setback here and there, but we put it all together.
You think you could do something with what we got, Mr. Ray? You can put that together?
This is going to come out fine, because when I see it on the screen, you see, let me see if I can, I don't know how to show you. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. But anyway, the people don't see all this. The
Right.
people see, and they don't see when I'm moving my mouse. And
Sure.
They don't see, all they see is just this.
Yes.
And there's a way to do it, and call a redundant person. If this would not work, I'd have gone on a laptop. If 2 cameras don't work, I'd have gone to 1 camera. If 1 camera wouldn't have worked, I'd have gone to the laptop camera. I've always got to have the backup.
That's why it's good to have 2 boat motors on your boat when you go out to the lake
All 3.
or across Pontchartrain in case one of them goes out.
Are you a prepper?
A what?
Nah, never mind.
A prepper?
A prepper. Are you a prepper?
I don't know what a prepper is.
You mean you
I
say
might be, but I don't know what a
you got a
prepper.
bunker in your backyard?
No, I don't have a bunker in my
You got a
backyard.
shed with your stuff that should be in the bunker?
No, I don't. I'm not a bug out kind of guy.
Well,
But
I'm one of those. I got more of everything than I need. My wife gets a little aggravated with me because when I go buy something, I buy in 3s. And she's like, why? Well, if I lose the first one, forget the second one.
I got a third.
I got a third one. And, you know, I've always been like that. And, you know, it aggravates her because instead of spending $200 at Sam's, I'll spend $600. And
I guess there's sometimes I guess I am. I play guitar. I used to play a lot more. And when you go into play at a gig or somewhere, I don't take 1 guitar pick. I put a bunch of them because by the time I get home, I only got 1 left in my
you're right,
pocket.
you have to. Do you play an acoustic guitar or
Oh,
electric?
either one. Mostly, I guess, electric, but I play acoustic as well.
Well, you know, I do this show live from the Yellow Brick House on Wednesdays, but I'm going to start on September doing a 5-day-a-week show, 4 from a studio and 1 from here. This is always going to be a show on Wednesday at the Yellow Brick House. But I might get you the other show, and you can play a little backup music for me.
Oh, I'd love to do it. I'll do some non-copyrighted music you
And
could
the
use for your
studio
theme show.
It's not as sketchy as
Oh, okay.
as this. Let me show people what we're working on. All right, John. So we're back for I think this is part 5, might be 4, but maybe 5. I don't know. We're gonna just have to figure this out. And it's all working good. We're recording everything. We got the video. We got the audio. So you see the thing moving across the line. I have put my microphone down a little bit because mine picks up all these people in the other rooms and it kind of like distorts. I want to say for people to go to WRAYAnderson.com and you can see a lineup of all the shows and my sponsors. Or you can go to youtube.com/Nola Kingfish. I'm going to change that to /Ray Anderson Podcast, but when you do that, you got to wait 60 days before you can post something live. So I'm getting the other channel up and running. I got about 10 more days left for that, and then we're going to switch everything. But that's something internally you won't even know the difference because if you type in Nola Kingfish or you type in podcast, it's going to take you to the same place. John, you got anything you want to wrap up with?
Oh, well,
Tell these fine people?
did I tell everybody how great Yellow Brick House is?
I think you did. So did I.
Yes, the Yellow Brick House is good. You know,
And that
I will wrap up with one little thing that I try to base most of every one of my decisions on. And I know the council members have heard it enough from me and all my fellow council members, and probably I said it during the campaign 100 times, but it's from one of the greatest presidents I think the United States has ever had. Made this comment. One of his quotes is, "It's better to stop bad legislation than it is to enact good legislation." Not to say it's not important for good, but it's better to stop bad. And there's a lot of times government brings bad legislation and they don't think it through. So, I think the least amount of government that you can impose in people's everyday life, the better. The more you untie the hands of free American entrepreneurship, craftsmanship, ability, the better this country, this state, this parish will be. So I just implore every elected official, not just in this city, but in the parish and in the state and the United States of America, consider the least amount of government you can do to really is the best thing, is what made this country great. And any problems that we have is because we've gotten away from that and we think more government is better. So if you take anything away from this podcast, and something that I'd recommend is please, let's untie the hands of the free, hardworking people in this parish to use their minds and their ability and their resources to make things happen. I know sometimes you have to do that cautiously because you don't want to affect other people's rights, and I get that. But make sure before a law is passed and you take away someone's rights that you're not infringing on the ability of the future growth of our community. So I hope you can take that away, Ray. And if anybody quotes me as anything or anything on my tombstone, that's what I want. Actually, that was not Ronald Reagan. That was President Calvin Coolidge. I think one of the fantastic presidents the United States ever had. Let me just say this: what a little bit I've read about him. He was one of the presidents that, in the middle of his term and throughout the course of his throughout the course of his daily operations, he would actually take off of work in the middle of the day, go take a nap. Bye, Vanessa. And nice to meet y'all. And he would actually take a nap in the middle of his work day because he said, when I'm sleeping, I'm not doing any harm to the people of this country. So Calvin Coolidge was a fantastic president. So I implore everyone to research his concepts. And
well, I like to take naps during the day too, but
pardon?
I like to take naps during. I turn my microphone down. I like to take naps during the day too, but I have a wife that I lay my head down, phone rings. I mean, I don't know if she's got cameras hidden in the house or what. What are you doing? I got you to do this, do that. I'm retired. We have a janitorial company. I still clean some buildings at night and stuff like that, but real job, no. That's that and all that and a bag of chips. Sean, it's been a pleasure. We thank you for coming, and once again, everybody, do business with people that do business with us. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.